Number 2. Welcome to number 2. I am not Charlie.
I am Charlie.
Interesting.
What a riveting opening to this.
Charlie, I do have a couple of personal questions for you.
Okay.
All right. Number 1. How long are you going to grow your hair? Because your hair is probably the longest I've ever seen it since I've known you.
I am actually growing it out to donate it. So I think I've got...
Really? That's cool.
We measured last time, and I think I have like 6 more inches to go before I can... Because I don't want to like shave it.
Okay, right. So you still want to have hair on your head when you...
Yeah. I'm not a very good-looking bald man. I have a potato-shaped face. And I don't want to do that.
I haven't known you to be like caring of other people, so it legitimately shocks me that you're going to donate your hair.
Oh, sure. Could you ask your bullshit question that the ratings are going to drop because you put this episode together?
Okay.
Go ahead.
On this show, sometimes we're going to talk about things that we have no expertise in, but we're going to talk about them anyways because... we're musicians who know a lot about everything. Wouldn't you agree, Charlie?
Yes, I would agree. 100%. I'm very smart.
Have you heard of the Dyatloff Pass incident?
No.
Okay. So there's a pass called the Dyatloff Pass. Can you pronounce that for me, Charlie? Go ahead and say that.
Dyatlov Pass?
Yeah, it's a Russian name. 1959. February 2nd to 3rd, 9 Soviet hikers died in the Ural Mountains under mysterious circumstances. So always the descriptor is mysterious circumstances.
Right.
So does that immediately, if someone says something mysterious happened, do you think of aliens? Do you think of ghosts, monsters? Where does your mind go?
My head goes aliens.
Always.
Usually, I mean, yeah.
Because you're hoping to be probed? Is that it?
Yeah, every day.
If you, short aside here, if you were actually abducted, would you tell people, or would you be afraid that people would be like, that's just Charlie. He was on a bender. Who the fuck knows where that guy's up to?
I feel like it's more like people would believe you more so now than they would have, 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
So maybe, but also then you got to watch out for, the CIA or the Men in Black as
Men in Black coming to get you, coming to silence you,
messing you up. Right. Yeah.
It's also true.
So maybe I would, because then if I went missing or died, my band would go, bougie platinum, because it'd be like, oh, this is the alien guy. And then the fact that, Simon Ferocious writes songs about aliens and stuff like that, it would double down and people would be like, oh my God.
So, and along that line of thought, do you think it helps your case for people believing you or hinders you if you're known as a guy that like is interested in that stuff? Whether or not you believe, you're interested, you've talked about it, do you think that helps or hurts your credibility?
I think it helps it.
You think it helps it? Mm-hmm. Because if you're an alien hunter and then suddenly, oh, I saw aliens, people are like, no, you didn't. You want to see aliens, imbecile.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Okay. 9 hikers hiked up into the Ural Mountains. And then over the course of one night in February 1959, the bodies of the hikers were found scattered around the campsite and the surrounding area. Some of them had strange injuries, such as missing eyes and tongues. Oof.
Yikes.
The cause of their deaths has never been definitively determined, but there are many theories, including avalanche, hypothermia, infrasound.
What is that?
And even alien abduction.
What is infrasound?
Infrasound is the theory that the hikers were killed by an infrasound, a type of sound wave that can cause disorientation and panic. Infrasound has been linked to a number of mysterious deaths and injuries, but it is not clear it could have been responsible for the deaths of these hikers. So basically someone is saying, this is a thing that no one's ever seen or heard or really cataloged, but it could have killed these hikers.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense. Right?
Yeah, that checks out.
So avalanche, hypothermia, Yeti.
Ooh.
Secret military experiment or infrasound. Of those choices, you being a well-versed guy who understands flat earth and cryptozoology and plays guitar and drums, I mean, and sings, right? You are
I'm a triple
man of
threat.
many talents.
Yes.
What do you think with all of the information that you have now?
Okay, so alien abduction, infrasound, and Yeti. And then was there another one?
Avalanche.
Avalanche.
Just an avalanche happened. Hypothermia.
Okay. It could be a combination of like so if we're talking as if like if we're being real, let's say could have been start of hypothermia. They've been out there for how long? Do you know?
They hiked up there, and this event occurred on the night of February 2nd to 3rd.
Okay. Maybe an avalanche. I don't know. Was there signs of an avalanche, or was it?
There weren't signs of an avalanche. Some of the tents were torn and stuff, but they weren't buried in snow.
What about like a bear? Is a bear ever brought up?
Well, is a bear fundamentally different than a Yeti?
I don't know. I've never seen a Yeti.
Do you believe Yetis exist?
Probably not, but have you heard the theory that they are like interdimensional? So that's why people don't see it? I'm serious. Have you heard that? So the Yetis are like, kind of come in and out of different, time foot.
Would that be the same for Bigfoots and things like that?
Right. Yeti and Bigfoot, I kind of put in the same category.
The same category. But Yetis are just snow versions of Bigfoot, right?
See, this whole time I thought Yeti and Bigfoot were like one and the same. Am I wrong?
I think like Yeti is commonly referred to as like being in snowy areas, being in the mountains, versus a Bigfoot who like lives in Ohio or Washington State or something.
Okay.
So wait.
So they have different weather.
Yeah. That's the distinguishing characteristic here. But I don't understand. They're just like, aren't they commonly described as just animals? How can they have some tech that allows them to wink in and out of our plane of existence?
I don't know. It's maybe something that we don't understand as human beings. You know what I'm saying? But a Yeti could be a very, very smart living being.
Do you believe this theory?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I sure don't.
Okay. So back to the Dyatloff Pass incident, avalanche probably didn't happen because there's not actual evidence.
There's no evidence of an avalanche.
Yeah.
And they have data of that because they went out on the same day, right?
Someone found them. I actually, in my research here, I don't see when they were actually discovered, but they were missing. And there was, what's interesting here is there was one survivor. His name was Yuri Yudin. Have you heard of Yuri before?
I have not heard of Yuri Yudin.
He was a 23-year-old student at the Ural Technical Institute and was part of that hiking group. He said that he woke up in the middle of the night feeling sick and decided to go back to the main camp. He said he did not hear or see anything unusual, and he has no idea what happened to the other hikers. So they were at a main camp. They hiked up the mountain. He got sick, said he felt sick, went back down, and then this thing happened.
Okay.
So what about the possibility that
he killed them all?
Yeah.
One versus how many people? 9. And there's no sign of like bullets or, knife wounds or anything like that.
No,
I don't know, man.
Missing eyes and tongues. This is typically explained by animals, like birds and stuff will come and pluck that stuff out to eat it. Right. So I think that's not so shocking, but they were in various stages of undress as well. They were in their underwear but again, they were sleeping. It happened overnight. So, but why would they run out of their tents in their underwear?
Probably because a bear came. That's what my guess is, that a bear came and just fucked him up. I'm sorry to be so, I'm sorry actually to sound kind of like you here. like I'm not having as much fun with this one because it sounds pretty cut and dry that a gigantic bear just fucked them all up.
What about Yuri turning into a werewolf?
I didn't consider that either. There you go. I mean, he could have been the Yeti who interdimensional time travels, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of thought about these secret Soviet experiments, right? That they're doing stuff up there, that there are bunkers, and then they give them gas or whatever. And there, of course, is historical precedent for similar things.
You clearly know more about the Russian thing than I do. I've never delved into the Russian conspiracy theory well, you know?
Yeah. But there's also a good movie about this called The Devil's Pass. It's like, you know, a found footage kind of movie, which I think is quite good. You might want to check that out. But you're just sticking with natural cause here. There's nothing mysterious about this event for you.
No, not really. I'm sorry, man. You picked a dud of a fucking conspiracy theory.
Well, I mean, if you were more engaging in your thought processes.
My thought process is that a goddamn bear, they were sleeping. One of them probably was out taking a piss.
Okay.
He was like, holy shit, a bear. Everyone's like, what? Doesn't know how to react. They fucking start running. And then the bear just gets them all because it's a bear, dude.
I'm going to write this up and I'm going to submit it to whatever crazy cryptid agency there is and say, here's the explanation.
I'm sure I'm the first person to be like, yeah, a bear probably did it. What is yours? You brought this up. I'm sorry I'm not as engaging because it sounds pretty cut and dry. Hold on, wait 1 second. You even said that birds and like squirrels and shit eat the tongue and the eyes and shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. I didn't even put that in there. You just made an argument for me that a bear started and then some birds and squirrels finished.
I think it's pretty, I agree with you that it's pretty cut and dry. It is interesting though, that they all like panic and some of them are fully undressed and some of them are wearing their clothes and some of them ran over this way and some ran that way. And right. So there's this idea that they were disoriented. So why were they disoriented? Because you would think experienced hikers going up into the mountains, a bear wouldn't just make them like lose their shit.
Yeah. So you said 1950, what?
1959. 59. How old were you back in 1959, Charlie?
In my previous life, I'm not sure. Because reincarnation is a thing. I'm seeing a picture now that this is, what is this? This is from Wikipedia though. So,
well, then you know it's true.
A view of the tent as rescuers found it on February 26th. Here, I'll share it real quick so you can see it.
So that's a full 2 weeks later.
So this is the tent. Can you see it?
Yep. Collapsed. So if
right, that's the other thing
here because it's just collapsed from new snowfall or something, but it's not like completely covered, right?
There's something very creepy about this picture, though. You see the little cross in the background too?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe it was aliens.
I think it was infrasound. I mean, that someone just says infrasound is a thing, so it must have been that.
But didn't they say in the article infrasound that nobody has ever experienced it? It's literally just like hey man, I made this up and it could be real.
Right. Yes, exactly. But that's how all the best science starts, right? Someone just says, I think this is a thing, so I'm going to prove it now.
Yeah, right. Here's the grave.
Mysterious circumstances. No one is saying, you know what? Charlie's right. A fucking bear did this.
This is what they all look like.
Yeah. Pretty Russian, I would say.
Yeah. I'll pay you $5 if you can read any one of their names.
I don't know the alphabet. I don't know how to pronounce those letters.
What else? Is there any pictures? That's it. That's all the those were all the pictures I could find. But yeah, I don't know, man. It sounds like a bear happened, or a bear came, said, "What's up? I'm here to eat you." It's faster. Probably caught up. They're probably, when you say they're disoriented too, it's like they probably, They were probably up late drinking. They were celebrating their expedition.
Stereotype. What were they drinking?
How is that a stereotype? If
potato
you go
vodka?
camping,
Is
so
that
when
what they
you
were drinking?
when
Potato
you go
vodka?
camping, you don't drink. You just sit there and
I
sit there with
have
your thoughts.
a quiet drink of whiskey. Yes.
Right. Maybe that's what they did too. You racist.
How am I racist?
Because you immediately jumped to the vodka thing, and I wasn't even thinking that.
Yeah, I mean, that was clearly where you were going with it. I just
no, because they're camping. They're camping in the cold, man. In 1959.
All right, one last thing here. The guy. Do you think the guy's a suspect? Oh, I'm sick. I need to go back down.
If there was like 2 of them, yeah, but 9 of them, and there's no like stab wounds or they weren't choked out or anything like that.
No.
Maybe it was just poorly investigated too.
Huh.
I mean, 1959. So, I mean, he could be, but I don't know if there is more evidence and they don't have it because they were just like, maybe the conspiracy is really in how this guy killed him. He knew somebody at
law enforcement, huh? Blaming law enforcement. Typical.
Yeah. I mean, it's plausible in 1959. They didn't have DNA sampling back then, did they?
No, I don't think so.
There you go. So,
no. All right. Okay. One last thing here. Should we head out there, Charlie? You and I hike up there, check it out, see what happened 70 years later.
Based on that, I think a fucking bear killed all these people. I'm gonna go no. Because have you seen that video of that guy in like Antarctica who like made this like glass vehicle that he could like check out polar bears and like the animal without getting, dude, this video just shows you how much a polar bear just wants to fucking eat you from the ass to your head. This thing is on top of the thing and he's sticking his paws in the little like air holes. Dude, it is terrifying. So for that reason, I'm out.
All right. Fair enough. Thanks for everyone who listens to our fledgling show. Charlie, what do you want to say about Patreon?
That you should go to it for patreon.com/CHALLZ. And actually what I'm going to do is it'll be up there. Me and Paul are going to watch the polar bear, the guy who's in the vehicle. So that'll be a quick little Patreon exclusive.
That's a great idea.
In conclusion, I think a bear did this. And
I'm going with Yuri Yudin is a werewolf and went and killed them.
All right. Well, I'm probably right on this one. So thanks everybody for listening. And head on over to Patreon and we'll see what happened to these 9 people by showing you what this polar bear does. Okay, bye.